Alright, so this is now video 2, and it's going to be very short. Okay, today's date being May 23rd, 2025. So this is a video extension of the first video had the Brian 2 audio file playing in it. Okay, so that's what this crime will do. My statements now are just a continuation of where I left off in the first video. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to play a few more minutes of this, audio file, because I got stuff to do. I got to get going. And then I'll just tie off my statement that concerning where I was at the tail end of video 1, and then I'll let you go. So continue to listen to this audio file.
To eventually achieve direct behavioral control.
I'll rewind it for a second.
Some training, research, and development in mind control technologies. They're using two interfaces, like we said, the brain-to-computer interface. That's the supercomputer, the sophisticated and advanced access scale system. Downloads all of your, all electromagnetic activity, all these synaptic responses, the electromagnetic emissions of the victim's brain is downloaded at the speed of light. Energy travels at the speed of light, so they can download, upload at the speed of light. Back into a database as they build as a supercomputer is programmed to build using various software programs a cognitive model of your brain to eventually achieve direct behavioral control over you. And the second interface, the Hive Mind teams, these cognitive researchers are using is the electronic brain-to-brain interface. It's basically a neurochip, a little smaller than a grain of sand inside the body or gear of the Hive Mind team members. So they're not, in some office somewhere. They're actually out in the field around you and trying to interact with you constantly. And that's part of the organized stalking. So the electronic brain-to-brain interface allows them to inject, to manipulate the brainwave signature of the victim, to inject, once they've been able to build a cognitive model of the victim's brain, to begin to clone their one of the people involved in the teams is called a clone. This is basically a psychiatrist, psychologist, etc., a cognitive researcher that basically clones his brainwave signature to that of the victim, so that he can begin to inject with his thoughts, his memories, his sensations into the victim's subconscious to manipulate the mental substrate of the victim, the self. Got it?
Okay, so that's the part right there that I have a pretty significant problem with. Okay, I'm not saying that it's not true, but personally right now I can't see how that it's done. But I do know that they can do a whole hell of a lot of extremely demented shit. Okay? Yeah, the people that are involved in these neural links where they're fucking sending shit to the brain of targeted individuals, they are fucking evil as fuck. Let me give you an example of the testimony of a targeted individual that I'm personally aware of was forced to endure through that, because of that target more than likely having what is known as a non-consensual cochlear implant. And most non-consensual cochlear implants are have an antenna connected to them, which means then they can be remotely interfaced with remotely, just like two phones can call each other. Okay, so cochlear implants have sound processors. So that means then that the demented bastards who can interface with that cochlear implant can send anything to the sound processor, and then it goes into the auditory cortex. So let's say if you're a victim of this crime who's got the type of islands implants in them that I got in me, and then that victim would also have a cochlear implant in them that would allow perpetrators to send shit to that ear implant. And if that particular victim's eyes and ears, if their vision and what they hear in their environment can be, so in other words, let me give you an example. You got a person, hold on, you got a person with the islands implants, right? And are the eyes and ear implants connected together? Bear with me a second. Okay, so let's say if what that victim sees goes to the supercomputer at the speed of light. right? Right? So, let me give you an example about how the community-based gang stalking can work with the perpetrators who are using remote neural monitoring. So, what the victim's eye lens implant sees goes to them, probably on ultrasound. Okay, which the ultrasound is also going through the ears. So whatever is in the ears is also interfacing with the eye lens implants, and the ultrasound is going, is working with both. Okay, in order to create a brain wave for auditorial and visual information. Okay, so the eye lens implants sees the individual that they intentionally prop up walking a big dog. It's a male dog, so his little penis thing is hanging. And so what they can do is they can move the eyes, yeah, because it's not just the eye lens implants. They also got more than likely cuff electrodes in the nerves that control the movement of the eyes, which that is in the ear, by the way. So then, so this is where the community-based gang stalking plays an intimate role in this crime, because they know where the victim's at. So, as a result of them knowing where the victim's at, they know when to prop up this person walking the dog in the timely way that the person is walking the dog in the direct field of view of the victim. So, when that person starts approaching, they're GPSing that victim, that person, while they got the victim's GPS location down to the inch, so they know where the victim's at. So then what they do is that they can see through the eye lens implants when the victim is seeing the dog. That visual imagery of the dog is going to them at the speed of light on the ultrasound. And then the computer is pre-programmed to send to the ear implant instantly, "Can I suck your dog's dick?" Now, you just heard a great example of how sick these fucking vile whores are. Yeah, they're fucking sick. They're demented. They are demented. And in the first, literally, they're fucking demented. They're literally sick and demented. Absolutely. Okay, hold on a second. They don't give a shit either. They don't give a shit. They care about you knowing. You better believe they care about you knowing. You fucking better believe it. Because when a target exposes information that they know about this crime, they know it's going to go on the internet. Because cyber surveillance is a method of gang stalking. So they know it. They don't want you knowing how sick they are because it embarrasses them. Okay? Concerning like the agencies you heard that are to be the main agencies hosting this crime in the first video, they don't give a flying fuck about torturing people to death, sadistically, intentionally, brutally, every single day and night. They don't give a fuck about it all. But they do care about you knowing. Because it wrecks their image that is portrayed about them, okay, pretty much routinely through fake mainstream media. Oh, absolutely. They don't give a shit at all, one bit, about what they do to any target of this crime. The most brutal crime ever known to man. They don't give a shit at all, okay? But they do care about you knowing. Because it exposes them for what they are. It's literally can't be said that clear. Now, so I want you to imagine your life, your life, what makes up your life, and then you being sadistically destroyed and tortured every single fucking day and night, non-stop, including when you're sleeping, non-stop, okay? Non-stop, all day long, to where it's literally killing you internally. Okay, through non-consensual implants, directed energy weapons, ultrasound, infrasound, and a bunch of other sick shit, okay, that these demented bastards do non-stop. Non-stop. You wouldn't believe what's happening right now to my right back base cranium. You literally wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe what my right ear is processing. You wouldn't fucking believe it. Okay? You literally wouldn't believe it. I can't say it any clearer. Hold on. And these vile whores don't care at all. They don't give two shits. But again, they fucking care about you knowing, because it puts them in the light that they need to be seen. Okay? They need to be seen for what they are, and what they are is what they do. It's literally that simple. Okay? Absolutely. Like, if you look at, you ever see these news broadcasts of some of the worst human trafficking cases? whether you see it in a movie or on a news broadcast, that ain't jack shit compared to what these bile whores are doing. That ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. Okay, oh, absolutely. So I'll play just a couple more minutes of the Saudi family and I'll let you go because I got stuff to do. And by the way, ever since I've been making this video, okay, the frequency phasing that I'm hearing in my right fucking ear that's also causing my right cranium to massively hurt has been turned up. Do you know how many posts that I've seen on the internet showing gang stalking victims who are implanted openly state that because they got what is known as implanted speech decoders, the sick bile whores who are decoding those speech signals because they're interfacing with the speech decoder, they're able to determine what you're saying. Through cyber surveillance, they're able to see what type of video you're making. They don't like it, so they turn the shit up to torture you even more. I fucking shit you not. I shit you not. Okay, so listen.
And so that's what, they're trying to achieve many things with this technology, such as interdimensional communications, training, research, and development in interdimensional communications like synthetic telepathy, remote viewing, etc. They're trying to learn how to manipulate matter, energy, and space with their brainwaves. They're trying to learn how to achieve knowledge by mere contemplation, such as accelerated learning, where you would turn the brain of the person into a giant search engine like Google or encyclopedia, etc., etc. It just goes on and on. There are a lot of reasons this is going on, but they're using three platforms to target their victims. People think they're being attacked with cell phones. I've heard them say that they're being attacked with drones and helicopters. No, you're not. No, they are not being attacked. The technology is now the provocations. The stalking may include such things to provoke the victim into emotional responses, which can be remotely measured and integrated back into R&M data. They're constant mind games, which are necessary. But you're being attacked by a supercomputer, and it's using one of three platforms. It's using a tower, a satellite, or what's called a mobile platform. Okay, and so
Brian, can they not also just use the Glen towers for national coverage or the grid for regional or local coverage? They can introduce any frequency they want into the grid. It goes right into the home or the office or the location of the individual and emanates and radiates from the wiring in the house. That's another possible platform, isn't it?
Well, again, they can manipulate the energy grid inside of a home using they use the information acquired by the manipulation of the energy grid, the smart meter info, etc., to determine the activities, the composition habits of the victim. But all that goes back to the mapping of the brain of the victim. They're using physical and psychological trauma. This is very important. Okay, they're using physical trauma and psychological trauma to map out and reverse engineer the sensory and neural pathways of the victim's brain and central nervous system. So constant, torture to map out trauma to the victim's anatomy, to map out each region of the victim's anatomy.
Give me an example of torture.
Directed energy torture, your skin begin to modulate the stream of energy, targeting the cerebral cortex, causing your skin to burn. Well, your skin is not really burning, but the sensation is just as real.
Yeah, but you should also know that, look, the things you just heard, okay, the things that you just heard is just a few things of many, many things they're doing, okay? But you should also know that if you are a targeted individual who is, by the way, that's just a term that describes the victim. If you are a targeted individual and you've got implants in you, they will intentionally cook you alive internally. Even to the point to where, so, let's say if the goal is to, oh God, so much could be said about this, but just as a very fast statement, because I gotta let you go. Okay, so, yeah, because and you should also know there's many crime motivations that they have for one target. Okay, oh, absolutely. Ever since they turned up the frequency phasing here, I'm starting to ache. And that's got to do with the hip, waist, and legs, knees, elbows, ankles, and feet. Absolutely. Okay. And I find it interesting that this is happening at the same time right before I go to start talking to doctors. So I wonder what type of will I be subject to any type of intentional frustrating behaviors trying to connect with doctors? Because when you're in pain, the brain screams, hey, look, I'm going to be released from this pain. Okay? And then when you're intentionally put in a frustrating phone call, okay? Or if you're being fucking, let's just put it to you this way, creatively provoked by things that are said to you, things that are done as you're making a phone call, because you got to understand something about this crime, folks. This crime is infested. It is infested in the medical community. And they already know who you're planning on calling because they can see who you're looking up to call. Absolutely. Through cyber surveillance. Fucking, oh, you wouldn't believe what's happened to me. You literally would not believe what's happened to me. You literally wouldn't believe it. And I'm just kind of noticing some weird stuff here with my cheek. So yeah, they can cause you to lose your teeth. Okay, through implants in the face, jaw, neck, throat, nose, eyes, ears. Oh, yeah, the roof of your mouth. You wouldn't believe the audio files I got showing Oxford physicists openly state that she knows for a fact that she's got implants in the roof of her mouth, her gum line, everything. Everything. Oh, it's so criminal. It's so sadistically, intentionally sadistically barbaric and monstrous. Just the demented pathology of these people is off the chain. The chain of normalcy, what's acceptable behavior by most human beings and what is not. They are completely offset from normal society. Completely offset. Deranged. Fucking deranged. Okay? And by the way, that statement I made earlier about can I suck your dog's you know what? That is heard in the auditory cortex in the victim's own voice, the sound of their own voice. That's called voice-to-skull voice morphing. It's voice cloning software. Okay? Absolutely. This is, yeah, absolutely. So imagine you having a traumatic brain injury because your brain's been hit with directed energy weapons while you're tortured every single day and night. And then when you fucking go out and about in the community and these sick vile whores who host the community-based gang stalking will prop up props so that when you see what you see, it goes to the computer. Then at the speed of light, concerning what's reported, and then they have their computer pre-programmed to instantly send back to the ears, okay, dialogue, okay, of how they want you to perceive what you see, what they want you to believe about what you see. I'm about ready to run out of time. Okay, oh, absolutely. They want, yeah, so it's just voice-to-skull voice morphing sent to the ear implant in the sound of your own voice. So you end up thinking you're having a thought about what you're seeing. Okay, absolutely. I gotta let you go, folks, because I got stuff to do. I'll make another video, and that other video will just